show number 38 on the Unified Endurance Q&A show.
38. Time's rolling on.
Time's rolling on. This week, we are brought to you by Secret Training, which we now stock at the gym here at In a Fight.
I saw that on the way in.
Favourite products, mate?
I really like the juice bars. I think they're amazing, and I think they really sort of fill that gap between gel and bar
Yes.
perfectly.
Secret with those? Refrigerate. Yeah, game changer.
Okay.
I like those. I like the training mix. And number one is the banana gels. Remember banana medicine as a kid?
No.
Didn't have medicine back then.
Mate. Penicillin.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
So, yeah, come in. You can get your Secret Training, all the nutrition you need. They can do caffeine gels, fast energy gels, slow release energy gels, juice bars. They do a training mix. They do a fast carbohydrate release mix. And there are more products on the way. So come in, have a look.
Yeah.
We sometimes have some tasters and tester stuff you can try as well. So
Yeah.
perfect. Also, Run Strong. It is nearly coming up to week 4 of month 1. You can go to innerfight.com/Run Strong. Sign up for month 1 at any time and start your Run Strong journey. Month 2 is coming out very, very soon. Questions this week.
What have we got?
First question from @Humaid Al-Gandhi. When training for long distance, will short distance speed and performance improve? Give us a short answer and then why.
If all you do is long and slow.
Yeah.
However, and we have all of our guys, whether they're training for ultras, marathons, 5K, 10K, whatever, they all come to the track every Tuesday and work on their threshold speed and performance. And whilst I'd say it's very difficult to improve it if you're doing a lot of volume at the weekend, but you can definitely at least maintain it. And I think that's actually really important for longer endurance athletes.
Yes. The main benefit is actually because as you're going long distance, the longer you go, you get something called heart rate drift. And in the end, your heart rate will get up nearer to threshold and above sometimes those levels. So actually working on your threshold work, which is the shorter the speed, the intervals that we do at Track Tuesday will help to buffer that lactate as you go longer and longer in your distance. So that's why most people see a big benefit from this. And we get a lot of runners who come to Track Tuesday and they say after a few months, I feel so much stronger over the longer distance.
Yeah. I think biomechanically it helps as well. And I think it's so easy when you're just going out, if you're out for a 3-hour run at the weekend, that you sort of form posture, cadence, it all just gets a little bit sloppy. And I think just sort of revisiting that, the faster stuff definitely helps with that as well. So efficiency, definitely.
Yeah. And he's also putting here, will performance improve? That's not necessarily... maybe he means will his long distance performance improve, in which case, like we just talked about, yes, it will. But performance is a big word that we can use in any distance, essentially. So it's how you're measuring that performance as well. So how are you measuring the speed, I would ask, as well, over your short distance? Is short 5K? Sometimes if you're a long distance athlete, short is 10K.
Yeah.
Or is it over your 200s, your 1Ks, your 3Ks? So having a good defining distance of what you're classing as to be long and short will definitely help you to measure whether that performance is improving. The other thing on that is long distance for you 10K, because in which case speed training will definitely help that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of what ifs, but as a great example, and we've seen a lot of this at the track, where guys have really good sort of short speed, so that might be like a 1K, 3K speed. When they've added volume, maybe if they started training for a half marathon or marathon, they found that actually their 10K performance has improved simply because they've sort of overlaid aerobic fitness on top of short-term speed and power. There's a lot of what ifs in there.
There is.
And hopefully that helps.
Yeah. Good. Next question @Mark_DXB_IQ. When or what is the trigger to move up to a disc wheel? Both got thoughts on this.
Yeah. I think yesterday would have been the best time to have bought a disc wheel. Look, I think the research is actually pretty flaky. I've seen a lot of different or conflicting views that will tell you that a disc gives you a benefit at almost any speed, depending on the wind. And there is also, I've seen research that suggests that you need to be moving at 40k an hour or 25 miles per hour plus to get benefit. So I think it really depends on which sort of set of research you want to look at. But I would say there's a couple of things. One is, what course are you racing on? Because if you're at Dubai, or something that's pan flat, I would say almost definitely use a disc. If you are considering racing Nice, for example, that would likely be a course that you might not use a disc on.
Yeah, my short answer is when you're sponsored.
Yeah.
I've never known out here of more people having a disc than not.
Yep.
It blew my mind when I first arrived here. And
right? I don't have a regular back wheel. I only have a disc.
It's nuts.
And that's not uncommon.
From where I'm from, my background is you earned a disc wheel, like you earned the right to race on one. And actually the season, which is my 7th, is the first season. Dubai 70.3 was the first race I've ever felt like I was worthy of using a disc. Do I think they're faster? I think it's like asking whether a road bike is quicker than a TT bike. I don't know. I need to know more. There's different, obviously, carbon layups. There's different wheels. There's what tyre you're using with it, what pressure you're running the tyre at. There's all sorts of factors that go into it. To say whether it's faster or not, you cannot do it. It's not that black and white.
No.
The super high-end discs, yes, they've done a lot of research in the wind tunnels, and they are faster if everything lines up with the way that they've done their method of testing. So, like you're saying, mate, on a hillier course, on a windier course, it might not actually be. And I know one of the top wheel manufacturers, Envy, they actually say their 80mm rear is faster than any disc because of once you get up to a certain speed, it acts as a disc wheel anyway.
Yep.
So I've always used a rear 80mm Mavic wheel, actually, and I've always sort of smiled to myself if I've gone past people who are using discs and things like that. But when I went to a Mavic disc in Dubai, and I must say I did feel like it was a bit quicker.
And I think probably more important than anything is the fact that they look and sound amazing. And that's actually really also important, especially from a perspective of a little bit of intimidation pre-race. If you've got, somebody else is on a regular and you're on a disc, it always looks good.
Yeah,
as long as you've got the game to carry it, which Mark, you definitely do.
Yeah, I think Mark can pull one off.
Yeah. He and I would be similar level riders, and I would definitely say I'd prefer to ride a disc on a flat, fast course than not a disc.
Good. Right, next question brings us back to Track Tuesday, and it's really simple. How can non-members join Track Tuesday? You can rock up. You pay your track fee to Dubai Sports City Council, which is 40 dirhams a session, 105 for a month, 265 for 3 months, and that goes directly to them. You then pay your non-member fee to us, which is 75 dirhams. You can either pay that at the gym or you can bring cash on the day, and then you start running.
Yeah.
Easy.
Do the warm-up, listen to the brief, away you go.
Away you go, 5:59. Last question. I had to put this in, but I thought I would link it back to endurance.
Okay.
At Wet Dog, why do you reckon the Irish rugby team is underperforming? Wales beat Ireland last night.
Did they?
25, I think 5 or 7.
Okay.
They scored last minute, and we went on to win a Grand Slam. That's the important bit of this question. But no, on a serious note, if we link this back to last week where we talked about hitting the wall, self-talk, body language, a lesson in body language and player language went on TV yesterday. If you watch that Irish team, they lacked aggression from the start and they started to get hit backwards. And as soon as that happened, head drops. Their main man, their number 10, Johnny Sexton, lost it. He lost his head. People join in around that. And it only takes that one little bit of negativity and it starts feeding everyone else. And that's exactly what goes on in your mind when you hit the wall or you find it hard to push on to that next performance level. Is one little bit of negativity creeps in and you start feeding all the rest. So if you didn't watch last week's show, head back to last week's show 37 and we go into quite good detail and give out some good tips on that and positive self-talk.
Now, I've got to tell you, I'm not really qualified to talk about rugby, but team sports generally, I know, I played football way back in the day, and the most important thing in every team talk that I ever heard was like you win your first contest with your opposite number.
Yeah.
And if you're a centre half, you make sure you go straight through the centre forward first chance you get. And I think that just sets a tone for the rest of the day. And from what Tom's saying, that did not happen for the Irish team yesterday.
And on that note,
We're done.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Thanks.